Brendan Kearney is a retired colonel from the U.S. Marine Corps and a military affairs analyst. He joins me now live from California. Colonel, great to have you here with us on TRT World. So let me begin by asking you, as a former U.S. military officer, how does it feel to see your president aligned more closely with Russia's leader, who is America's longtime adversary, than with Ukraine's president, a U.S. ally, on how to end the war in Ukraine?
Well, it's not easy to see, but at the same time, I've been involved in this for most of my adult life, and if the president's close alignment with Putin right now is something that ends in a just and equitable peace deal down the road, then I'm all for it. But I have to be absolutely frank with you. I'm very, very skeptical in the sense that I join the European leadership and President Zelenskyy, and I have a very, very healthy regard for Putin's lack of veracity and the roadmap that he's left behind him, where he goes ahead and says one thing and does another. So a little bit long-winded answer there, but I'm a skeptic right now, but I'm hopeful. We need to have peace.
Of course, over the past few weeks, we have seen many diplomatic meetings taking place, the most significant one being between the U.S. president and President Putin. And now, of course, we saw another summit taking place at the White House with the involvement of European leaders and the Ukrainian leader. I wonder, what kind of impact do you think these meetings are going to have on the battlefield?
Probably very little, to be honest with you. You know, those Ukrainian soldiers and the Russian soldiers that are suffering tremendous casualties, particularly the Russians. In many respects, this is something that they hear about, and it's off in the distance. It plays no real impact on their lives in the trenches as they're fighting for their respective countries. For maybe the senior military leadership, it might have some great impact, but for those units, those soldiers down on the ground, it is virtually meaningless. They don't care. They want to be told to either continue fighting or to stop fighting. Hopefully someone someday is going to be able to tell them, stop fighting.
Colonel, since you told me that you're also a skeptic about the unfolding situation and whether or not there's going to be a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine, let me ask you, if you were advising Donald Trump today, what would you tell him when it comes to ending the war in Ukraine?
Well, first of all, I think he is doing the right thing. He is trying, which is more than certainly his predecessor and others have made very feeble attempts at trying to bring about some type of cessation of hostilities. But I would remind him that he's dealing with he's dealing with an institution that is built on lies. And you may not want to say that to Putin's face, but that's reality. And our European brothers over there have a much better idea and appraisal of the character of the Russian regime. And Zelenskyy, I think, is a man to be supported. I mean, we can't do everything for him, but at the same time, we have a country that was invaded, and we have a country that has suffered loss of its territory. And under international law, we have got to be very, very careful about any precedent that we inadvertently, for the best of intentions, set that we may regret down the road. I mean, all you have to look at is the Sudetenland way back in the late 1930s and the disaster that led to for humanity. And this very well could be the same type of thing, if not carefully managed by President Trump, his administration, and his friends in Europe.
Great points there, Colonel. Of course, in today's meeting, there were many items on the agenda. And one thing that really stood out during this summit was giving security guarantees to Ukraine. But here's my concern. The United States and the United Kingdom gave security guarantees to Ukraine back in 1994 as part of the Budapest Memorandum. And we all know what happened. Russia invaded Crimea in 2014 and then, of course, in 2022 in February as well. So, this is what I think. Why should Ukraine trust the United States and its Western allies when it comes to security guarantees when Ukraine knows that they did not keep their promises?
I share word for word what you just stated. I think the United States has gotten itself in a position over the last couple of decades where the words of the presidents of the United States, in many respects, have been meaningless. I'll caveat that by saying, with Donald Trump, I think you got a man that when he says things, you better very carefully listen to him because he's proven again and again and again is that he means what he says. So I'm very, very hopeful that this time around, we will have a president, if he agrees to something, he intends to put the full might and power of the United States in ensuring that whatever commitment we have made, we keep, and he doesn't fail like Bush and Obama and Biden and the rest of that crew that just really didn't show the backbone they should have in enforcing the Budapest Memorandum.
Fascinating insights, Colonel Brendan Kearney. Thanks very much for joining me here on Tier 2 World. I really appreciate your taking out the time.